Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday, everyone. It's been one last week with all that rain, so I'm happy to see the sun out and shining. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off. So welcome to another Sunday's Creative Circle. I am Frederica Holloway, also known as Freddie Nyasha. Definitely a creative spirit. And I just wanted to welcome you all to Creative Circle, which is a platform that's live where we invite people to come and pull out anything that you create, paint, if you make music, if you sing, so that you can be in a space with us. And we like to highlight a specific person every session. And today we have Miss Patty of Elevated Touch. Hi, Miss Patty.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Can't complain.
Can't complain. You tired of rain too? You happy to see the sun shining?
I'm extremely happy to see the sun shining.
Definitely, yes.
Get
Definitely.
as much of it as we can while we can.
Exactly. So I am so happy to have you. So people may not know, we work together
Yes, yes we did.
Park District of Calumet City. And still get to see you often, try and get in the pool and do some things. But this way we get to see this other side of you, it's like exploring all kinds of different creative venues. So can you go ahead and I want to give you a chance to introduce yourself and what you're doing and what Elevated Touch is.
Cool. So, I basically am the founder of Elevated Touch. Elevated Touch is a metaphysical and spiritual practice. I sell a lot of metaphysical, holistic, and hand-created items. I make my own candles. We do baths, spiritual baths, as well as cleansing baths, Florida water to your sage, to your crystals, to your gems, some of any and everything, trying to get you aligned and right with your spirit.
Amen. Amen. So tell us, how did you get into all this? Like, what blossomed this business of yours?
So I have always been into spiritual things and especially crystals. Like, it takes my mom to say, I used to pick up crystals and rocks everywhere that we went. And she had to stop me because I picked up some dried bird poop before, thinking that it was a crystal. So I just kind of been into crystals and healing and all of that since I was very little. I wanted to get into it and branch off. I think I wanted back in high school. I always talk about how I was going to have a metaphysical store and I was going to sell this and I was going to do that. And I just was given the opportunity to be able to hone into that and actually branch off and do it.
That's great. So now, no more picking up all the other
No.
things.
Now I know the difference between a crystal and bird poop,
All right.
I know the difference now.
So can you tell us a little bit more about the different products? You mentioned crystals, but are some other products and things that you create and that you sell?
Yes, so I create candles. I do intention-based candles as well as, I hate to say regular candles, but just the regular candles that you purchase. But I also specialize in intention candles. So that's whatever intention you have, from manifestation to increasing your finances to protection, all of that. I create those as well. I make black salt from scratch, which is also a protective tool. Room sprays, as well as protection and calming and anxiety sprays. I do a little bit of everything.
Okay. Yes, I can definitely attest for my candle. It's the clarity candle, right?
Yes.
If y'all just y'all can understand. I'm trying to, like, she's back in stock, so I got to get this candle. It's a thing. Just lighting it and smelling it. It's right now. I'm just picturing, when I get it, because I've
I'll
been
make
burnt the
some
other.
today.
It's a thing. It's a thing. So you guys don't understand. It is a thing.
I'll make
So
some today.
right. So what would you say? Well, actually, before we get into that, what are you actually going to create today while we're on?
Create some candles. A couple lavender candles, a couple self-care Sunday. That's some of my clients' favorite, as well as some clarity for you.
Okay. I love it. So can you tell us a little bit about the process of making the candles? Is it?
So yeah, so now I'm putting the wicks in,
Mhm.
pre-wicking them. I have I don't know if you can see it over here. So this is my candle wax. It's actually melting now itself. I have a Presto pot. Easier than the way that I was doing it before. I don't know where my life was before this Presto pot. So it's melting it down. You melt down the wax. It's a whole thing with however many ounces we're making to the FO, which is the fragrance oil that you put in, the curing process, all of that. If you're gonna add color, I do color in some of them, but I try to keep majority of my candles without color, is because I use soy as well. So soy is already the least toxic of chemical free of all of the soy of all of the wax melts. So
Do
yeah, so
you have like a favorite candle that you like?
yes, my favorite candle is the grounding candle.
Okay.
That is my favorite.
Like, I'm not mad at that. Okay, great.
Love the grounding one.
So,
Grounding, and also I like sea salt and orchard. I'm actually burning that now.
okay. So can you tell us a little, how did elevated touch, where did that name come from?
So before Elevated Touch, I still do it. I still dabble in it. I have a creative business where I do t-shirts, party planning, all of that. And before, it's now called Creative Touch, but before it was called Creative Touch, I went into that business with a business partner. So we took a piece of my old name of my business, which was Lucky Touch, and a piece of hers, which was the creative part, Creative Touch. So I always wanted to have elevated in the title because I want to help elevate people's spirits and elevate and heighten where they are spiritually. So I just added the touch from the previous businesses on top of elevated. I was like,
Okay, I like that. I figured the whole elevator, taking us to a higher level. Thank
level,
you.
you know?
Thank you, Miss Patty. So, obviously we are in interesting times in 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Can you share with us, with COVID, with the racial injustice, all of this? So obviously there's a lot of talk around just people's stress levels, mental levels. Can you share with us just some things about what you do and what you, how you help people, and speak to, people actually find, I guess, getting grounded, being elevated in a time that is unprecedented, this year.
Yes. So basically, my suggestions and how I help people and what I basically tell my clients and people that I deal with is meditate. Time for you is the biggest thing. Keeping your protections up as well as your spirits. Although you may not want to go out and do anything at all, or you might be scared to go out. Even just go and get a little bit of sunlight. That sunlight is going to improve how you feel. You may not want to do it. You may be like, oh, I'm scared. I want to go out. We all scared, but make sure you're still getting out a little bit of exercise, as well as things to keep your protections up. That's, I know it's gonna sound crazy, but washing your hands and keeping your hand sanitizer, and if you do or if you don't, sage, because sage purifies and clears the air of all bacteria and all of that. So saging, or smudging, period. You may not want to use sage. You can use tallow. You can use, if you simply have simple things in your houses, onion peels, camphor. You can use some of anything. I can give you a whole list of things. You don't even have to go to the store, but it's things, household things that you can use too to protect yourself.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about this, you and me. So and I am a Christian person, but people tend to think like when you start talking about sage and smudging, and even so I'm actually working on some chakra stone, using chakra stones or stones that speak to the 7 chakras. People tend to think that there's a contradiction, or like it's something that's anti godly or spiritual. Like, can you speak to a little bit about that for people who may be a little apprehensive around you know, being able to get into things like crystals and stones and scents and smudging?
Yeah, it's a huge misconception behind just being into that. Everybody feel like it's, I done heard so much about what they believe it is or what it does and how you're looked on. You can't believe in that and believe in God. Why do you need extra protection and things of that sort? But it's all basically no different than, if you ask me, anything that's already in the Bible. It's a lot of things in there that speaks to smudging, and they may not use the word sage, but it speaks to smudging and things of that sort as well. But it's all about what you believe and all of that. But scents can trigger certain things, and we all know that just based off science. So it's not just a, as people want to call it, a witchcraft or whatever they want to believe in. It's just, it works. It's science, technically.
And I like how, you say as far as like biblical references, but even, God created science, God created crystals, God, everything that we have physically on this earth is something that is from a creation of His. Even things that we may create, in a sense, He created us. And like you said, there's a fine line between how people can manipulate things like that. But something as simple as natural stones and especially with smudging, as far as like burning leaves and burning scents, that there's no, at least from my perspective, yes, you can still, I definitely still pray in the morning, I still read my Bible and all that. And at the same time, in order to create my space, this would be like candles. We do a lot of different things to create a space. Some people burn candles, some people meditate. So whether or not you smudge, buy flowers and burn them and different things. So it's not, I'm glad you mentioned, like, it's not like it's some weird foreign witchcraft type of thing.
Right.
It is definitely something that can be incorporated, and especially, as you say, to elevate your space, elevate your prayers, elevate, different things. So I'm definitely wanting to give you the time if you wanted to share any more about that, and just some of the misconceptions people may have.
It's so many misconceptions. I doubt we will have the time to touch all the misconceptions that people believe, but it's just really, I've gotten to the point now where it's like, I know what works for me. I can only try to help you get to that place, and what works for me may not work for you. But some things are enhancers to help you get to where you are. So like you said, some people may meditate with with candles. Some people burn incense. Incense is considered a form of smudging, but somebody look at it like, oh, she doing this, she doing that, but it's just all science. That's all I can say. It's all science.
Oh, thank you for that. So I know, so you talked about your candles. You talked about some of the different things. What is your favorite thing to make?
My favorite thing would have to be bath salts.
Okay. Why?
It's, I don't know. I like the grittiness of getting your hands dirty and getting it. It's just like, it brings me back to the childhood when you used to like mix mud pies and stuff. So it's kind of like that, and being able to mix scents and herbs together. Like from the herbery class that I took, it just like, I love mixing herbs and roots and knowing that this mixed with this is gonna cause this. Like it's just a thing for me. I don't know.
So now you mentioned mud pies and you mentioned bath salts. So I'm like, okay, Patty, I'm gonna be asking you to make a facial mask in a minute.
I know, right?
I'm like, I'm seeing it, you know. Is there any particular product or thing that you're interested in trying to make, or that just kind of like, you know what, I do want to try doing this in the future?
It's a lot. My lists grow every day. Every day I wake up like, oh, I'm gonna make this. Oh, I'm gonna make that. Oh, this is what's next on my list. Like I have a whole list of things. So my brain never stops. Like I'll have a new product on the website next week.
I'm gonna be looking for it too. My mask. So what would you say is the most fun part about your business and creating, and what would you say is the most challenging part?
The most fun for me is literally just being able to create. I'm a creative person. I just love to create. So being able to spend time doing something that just brings me so much joy is just like it's peaceful. It's so peaceful. So that's my favorite thing, just being able to create. And the most challenging would be not knowing how to stop creating because I just be like, oh, I could do this, I could do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I'm the type of person that'll see something and be like, oh, why spend my money on that? I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna make this. It's just like, just slow down sometimes.
I do understand. It's like you go out shopping and you're like, I don't see any of this that I like. Let me go home and make it.
Let me go home and make it.
Just start making it myself, because if I'm gonna spend money, I'm gonna make sure that it's something that I like. And
exactly.
Exactly. So I get it. I get it. No, that is great. So I was actually, so anybody that's watching, so we had a few people coming in and out. Feel free to post any comments or questions in the chat. In the meantime, what would you say is like a few things that people most commonly come to you for, or even inquiring or asking about?
The most common thing I get is a lot of people having an issue with feeling like they can't do one and still be a Christian. So I get a lot of questions like, do you believe in God? And if so, how does that work? And it's, yes, I believe in God. Yes. And it works because this goes. So basically summing up the same conversation we just had. So I get a lot of people asking that. And mostly outside of that, it's a lot of people asking how to protect their space and their peace from negative energy.
Okay. And what are some of the things that you tell them?
To protect your peace and your energy, I give them a list of crystals, mantras that they can say, sprays that they can create on their own, even if they don't purchase it from me. Just learning how to keep your house spiritually grounded as well, because you allow that negative energy in and it penetrates into you, and you don't realize that now you the negative energy that you're trying to get rid of. So just trying to help them find that balance.
Okay. Are there any specific products that are most common for that you recommend? So that people that want to come to you now are paying attention, they're like, "Ooh, I need some advice, and I need to come buy some stuff from this man."
You could always smudge. So for saging or smudging, I do for your home, rosemary and sage is really good. I have those smudge sticks. Florida water, as well as I have protection spray, black salt, protection candles, crystals. Tourmaline is really good. Hematite rings, black onyx, tiger eye, selenite wine. Some everything.
You got an arsenal. And wait, I got my Florida water. I still got my Florida water.
I just was putting it on before we got on the call. Like, let me.
So can you tell people a little bit more about the Florida water? Because a lot of people may not know about that, and how do you use it?
You can use Florida water so many different ways. I always cleanse my space with it before I do anything. Like I wiped this space and area down with it, put it in a spray bottle, wiped it down just to get rid of stagnant and negative energy. You can put it on yourself. You can wear it. You can add it to your mop water to clean your house and give your little floors a wash. You can put it in a spray bottle, spray the air. You can spray a coworker. Just get that little negative coworker. Just spray them. You know.
Wait, so since I'm virtual, how do I do that if they coming through the computer? Computer. Well, I learned something new because I've been mainly using it on my person and for my stones. I was like, oh, I don't want to I actually a little bit fell on my dresser. I was like, oh no, don't be wasting the floor. But you say you can use it to actually cleanse.
To cleanse the space. Especially before I create. I spray bottle or I put it on a napkin, wipe it down before I start.
That means I gotta get 2 bottles, one for me and my body and my person, and then one for the other stuff. Cause
I keep one in my purse. You never know. Keep one in my purse.
So where would you say you would like your business to go for the remainder of 2020 and just in general?
For the remainder of 2020, I am extremely happy with the place that my business is in. I'm so grateful for the people that purchase from me and trust that I'm not giving them faulty products and all of that. Like, they know that they're getting legit products. I'm just happy with where it is now and how much energy I poured into it to see that energy being received. So I'm extremely excited about that. But moving forward, I would like to move out this room, this office space, and into an actual storefront.
Okay.
That's my speak it into existence manifestation. But yeah.
I imagine that. Do you also want to partner with, do you see yourself in stores and different businesses that sell natural foods and natural products as well?
So yes, I'm actually working with a young lady that I met through a Black-owned business group on Facebook, and she has a storefront in Georgia, and she wants to put my products there. So hopefully that goes through, and outside of that, I want to do more of that. See myself somewhere else, not just in my own store, but in other people's stores as well.
Okay. Congrats. I like that. When do you foresee anything soon happening with that?
So we're in the works of speaking the logistics to that, but hopefully real soon before Christmas.
Christmas. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, manifest it, speaking into energy, speaking into existence.
For Christmas.
For Christmas. So basically, you're gonna have some Christmas packages for us, huh? Or some Kwanzaa, some other things going on.
I'm hoping. Look,
You're hoping? Okay.
I'm hoping so.
All right. Can you share with us a little bit what you're doing right now? So I know you had put the wicks into the candle, and then I saw you stirring some stuff. What was that?
The fragrance oil. So that was the actual scent that the candle will be.
Okay.
And then I stirred it in real good, let it set to cure, and then poured them into the candle. And that was one fragrance. Then we got another one coming up.
How do you come up with your fragrances? Like, do you study different, plants and flowers, or do you just, how does that work?
So, for this was a long process of months and months of testing wicks, testing scents to see what worked well with what temperature. If you see, I got my little temperature, my thermometer right here. What temperature to pour it, so you get the fragrance where you want it. But for all of my candles, they have been like tested and for months to see what scents work well with one another. But for the intention-based candles, those are based on scents that align with your chakras and the purpose and what we're looking to do, and basically what that scent does for the intention set. So it's a mixture.
Okay. I'm gonna get back to the intention set, but I see Julie is on, and she says she wants the Kwanzaa kit, please. So let's use your blind imagination. What would you get the Kwanzaa kit so that Julie can get excited in these next 3 months?
Who put me on the spot with that one? A Kwanzaa kit. I will create a specific fragrance for that. A specific candle. Might do a candle set with a small set. Now you got me envision all the different things I could do. Oh man.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Julie. We're about to get excited about this Kwanzaa kit that Miss Elevated Touch, Miss Patty, is about to come with.
Man. Look, now I'm about to go rack my brain all night until I figure out.
You got you got about maybe 2 months to figure it out. And then you gotta start make sure it's done and selling.
Gotta have it ready.
Look. Right. So can you tell us a little bit about what you mean when you say you were talking about setting intentions around candles and different things? For some people, they may not understand what that means. Like, what do you mean by intentions?
Yeah. So, like some of the intention candles I have is like grounding. So the grounding candle is made with one of the biggest scents in it is amber. And the amber, I use that because amber is the best scent to basically help you connect to your solar plex chakra, which is connected to the rest of your chakras. So if you get that open, it helps to ground you and you to basically be able to come to a meditative and a peaceful state. So the intention behind the grounding is to help you be at peace and to unlock some of your chakras and all of that. So that's one of the intention base. So it's basically whatever is put, like, so we have a protection one. The intention behind protection is to protect you, your space, your home. So whatever that intention is.
I like that. Thank you for that. And actually, it's interesting you said that because the bracelet or wrist beads that I'm creating, I make black is the base, which is the color of protection. And then I'm adding the different 7 stones that represent the different chakras. So this is something I'm working on, and I'll be posting this soon once I make one, and it's like, okay, that's the new product that I'm selling.
Okay, you might as well make 2 because I want one of those. But
so no, this is like I said, protection is an interesting time. 2020. There's a lot of things that are coming our way, different negative energies. I just read this article about what was about to go into not retrograde, but it was basically had to do with Mars and the fact that
Mars
we
is in
are.
retrograde now, yes.
Which one was it?
Mars is in retrograde as we speak.
For the next 2 months, and there's a lot of upsetting of things that may happen in that time. So that means protection and being protected personally, spiritually, emotionally is something that we definitely will need till about November. So yes, that's why it's interesting. You mentioned protection. I'm making a black, using the color black and the different chakras. So yes, for those people who, like I said, getting to know about these type of things is really good. So I'm glad you're speaking to that, so that people who may not be as familiar with, chakras and smudging and different things that can protect their peace, their energy. That's really important.
Yes.
So thank you. I'm so excited. Any goals for you have past 2020 or things that you just like, okay, this is an idea or something you may look for, partnering with people, anything. Sky's the limit, right?
Sky is the limit. Look, I foresee a lot, but I don't know. Outside of bigger and better and steady, just advancing and being able to share with more people. So before now, it's always like meek, mild, and quiet about my spirituality and what I do and all of that. So now I'm just like, forget it. This is me. Let me help somebody else get to this point, get to this place. This is what worked for me. This is what works. This is how it works. I'm not as, oh, how are they gonna look at me? That's just like, look, this me. Bold with it, take it or leave it, but this is what you can learn from it. So yeah, so just
do you find that that's common with a lot of people? Like, people can relate to that.
Not wanting to speak on it. Yes, I feel like that's a major thing. I find a lot of people ask questions or kind of support the business in private out of fear of how it will look or what people would think. I took like a lot of people look at it as witchcraft or yeah, you don't believe in God, that's that devil work, that's this, and it's just like it's the total opposite of what you're thinking. So it might shun a lot of people away from wanting to be open.
And this is actually why I'm glad that you're on, because the same way mental health was like this taboo thing that people didn't talk about. They didn't talk about talking to a psychologist, talking to a counselor, and now, because especially because of COVID, if not before then, it was slowly like this light being put on that. Now it's like, okay, people are quiet about branching into other aspects of spirituality. And it's not to say that it's a contradiction to God and prayer and Bible and study and the things like that, but a addition and other things that they can do to enhance that. Do you feel like we're going to be shifting into a movement or a space where people, again, it's not this taboo like chakra and stones and astrology, like it's actually something that people will be more open to talk about and embrace?
I think we're actually in the midst of it now. I think COVID and all of this being in and not knowing what to do, being scared, and more people are being vocal about it, that it's now the new norm. I think not too long ago, Beyonce came out about her practicing and what she does and all of that, and came out that she even goes as far as to being into the orishas and all of that. So now, Beyonce do it, so people, it's more normalized now.
No, that's.
So it looks like we're coming to that peak of where people are starting to look at it like, oh, okay.
It's not this.
It's not this taboo
bad thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad you mentioned it. Do you feel like some people do have, because where there is good, intentions? Do you think that there are some people out there that don't, like, people should be cautioned about making sure that they connect with, people who really understand what this is?
Oh, it's a whole thing out there. It is people that will misguide you. It's people that will come to you telling you that they see this thing on your back and they can get it off if you pay them $1,000 and this that. Don't believe the hype, okay? Like, anybody jump in your DM and tell you, hey, I practice this, that, and the other for $1,000. I see that you're going through this thing. I can help you get through this, that, and the other. It's just like, okay, no, thank you. But yes, it's a lot of people that will misguide you. So you want to make sure that you're asking a lot of questions. How did you get into this? What do you know about this? So this, that, and the other. Even don't be afraid to ask questions, because before you spend your money, you have the right to ask them anything about their said business. So that's from asking, okay, you sell this stone. What exactly is this stone?
Mm-hmm.
You can always look it up yourself just to see if they're telling you the truth. If they can't tell you what this stone does and how you do this stone and this, that, and the other, then that's a sign right there. If they can't tell you exactly, so how can I use this? Or how can I, if they can't tell you that, ask as many questions as possible, because there's people out here trying to get you.
And, just say there's always somebody who's trying to do something interesting about it, right?
It is. I just had somebody in my DM the other day, like, hey, for $1,000, I see I was meditating and the people told me that you have this demon on your back. And it's just like, girl, get out my DM. Get out of my DM.
Wow. So in order for you to, like, take your business to the next level, are there any specific types of you're looking for? I know with, like I said, with COVID, so very limited as to what we can do as far as like events and things like that. But are there things that you either virtually or, other things that you feel like you would want to connect with in order to, like, get your business out there and get more people and to learn about, the things that you do?
So it's a lot that I would like to do. I would like to get out there a lot more than I already am. Get my name out there, my platform out there, my business, and basically just what I'm about. But that's, in these trying times, it's kind of hard to be able to do that. So yeah, maybe once Miss Rona let up a little bit, I'll be able to do that.
Well, what would you say that, like I said, even with coronavirus, what are there any, I guess, in a sense, silver linings that coronaviruses have allowed you to do that you may not have been doing beforehand?
Yes, it has given me the time to actually pour into creating more and my business and aligning things and getting it together. It's brought me a lot more time to a lot of centering. I've been able to center myself and be able to because before then I'm a workaholic, so I'm work. So Rona gave me
Rihanna.
right. This gave me the time to, like, no, focus on you, your business. What do you want to do? So it was a blessing in disguise.
Okay. So how can people learn more about you? Like, I know social media, tell us everything, your website, your web pages, your hashtags, everything, social media, so that, people who are listening are interested.
Yes. So on Facebook and Instagram, my ad name is elevated_touch_. My website is www.elevatedtouchbotanica.com. And yeah, you can always reach me.
Okay. So where are we with?
Got questions?
Okay, we'll share that a little bit in a few more minutes, but I see you stirring some stuff. Where you at with your candles now? I know you did your wick.
You did the wick. We got one batch curing already. We're on batch 2, waiting for this to cool down before we pour. Then we're gonna work on batch 3.
So what was batch 1, 2, and 3? What were the different fragrances?
Batch 1 is the lavender. Batch 2 is self-care Sunday, and batch 3 is going to be clarity.
It's going to be what?
Clarity.
Clarity. Oh, clarity, y'all. I can speak to clarity. That's my fragrance. Oh my goodness.
Gotta be clear.
So you said batch 1 was lavender. Is that like just lavender?
Just lavender.
Okay, and batch 2 was
self-care Sunday.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, so self-care Sunday is a mixture of the fragrance white sage and lavender. It's created to basically help you protect your peace. The sage for protection and the lavender for peace. It will be topped with intentional herbs to enhance that, as well as crystals.
Okay, and then batch 3?
Clarity.
Okay.
So that's a mix of water, mint, and a cooling floral fragrance. Mint is good to help you focus, maintain, and all of that. So it's just, like I said, I mix things together to perfectly pair. So, yeah.
Okay. So we got a few more comments. Kirsten says she's loving this right now. She had mentioned that you were absolutely right when you were talking about some things that people were, the misconceptions and what people need and the like. So definitely.
Yes.
And I'm glad you said with the clarity, the mint, because I'm a lover mint. But my mint thing is mainly in teas. So you also do Yoni steams, and
yes.
I don't know if you mentioned that earlier. Can you
I did not. Look at that.
Yes, I want to say mention all your products so people know. Like, so she got the candles, and she's making the candles now. Can you repeat? For some people who may have just joined us, what your other products are?
Yes. So now that you mentioned Yoni steams, because I totally forgot about that. Yoni steams. I make bath salts, cleansing sprays, room sprays, candles. I sell smudge sticks, sage, crystals, gems. I'm trying to think of what else.
She does it all. Anything to protect your peace and to set intentions.
And I'm like, sometimes
powerful life.
What else
can you talk a little bit about the Yoni steams? Because some people are very new to that.
Yes. So Yoni steams are basically a mixture of herbs created and perfectly mixed together I have different ones to do different things. I have one to help alleviate menstrual pain, bloating, to regulate your cycle. I have some to refresh and to renew, to balance your pH. Yoni steams, that's basically what they do. They help balance your pH, anti-fungal, and bloating, assisting in a lot of things.
And the reason why I wanted you to speak to that, just because, especially in an age of, we got cancer going on besides COVID, and with cervical cancer, we've got, all kinds of different things that are going on with our bodies because of the food, the environment, and things like that. And so, and personally, I've actually even asked my doctor about just different things, just to make sure that my pH is balanced and different things. And a lot of times they say that there are things that they just don't know, or they're not as familiar with, or, because I don't know, how long have Yoni steams been in existence?
Shoot, for almost forever. So if you date back to our ancestors, they've always used herbs for things of that sort. So it's back to, as far as I researched and looked into, they used it for shrinking tumors and things of that sort as well. So it's been around for a while.
And honestly, like I said, there's a big discrepancy between Western medicine and, like you said, historical things that our ancestors. And so when you ask these questions, a lot of times there's this like, there's no proven fact that this helps or not, because they don't necessarily know. And, you know, again, with what's going on in our environment and in today, like, it's the fact of cancer alone, they don't know. There's no cure. So it's like, well, you don't know about that, but you don't know about anything else. So they can't say that it doesn't help or hurt or anything because they haven't studied it. And I'm not about to get into my whole little thing about, like I said, Western medicine, but it's just one of those things that I feel like the more we know, the more options we have to actually, you know, utilize to our advantage. I'm not saying it's a cure for anything or whatever, but, you know, as far as being able, you know, this is something that has historically our ancestors have done. They did it for a reason. So it's not like it hurt. Unlike, you know, when I look at some of the things that are foods in our environment that do hurt, it's like, you know what can I do? What can I practice to just help me treat this temple? We all have a body and a temple that we've given. We only have one life to be able to treat it with care. So why not learn more and utilize more of the things that historically have helped us in order to make sure that we're taking care of it.
It's a whole experience too. The Yoni semen. It's a whole experience. You can just to speak into yourself. You might not even need it for balancing your pH or any of those things, but just that self-love and to pour back into yourself, or you want to release the negative energy of past sexual partners.
Amen. So we have Marlon. He said clarity sounds like it is amazing. It smells great. And Jasmine says, what health benefits have you experienced personally since you started your spiritual journey?
Health benefits. The stress. I haven't been stressed as much. I learned more about my body as well. I got into the Yoni semen and the herbery and all of that because I was having issues with my own health. My menstrual was all over the place, all off and unbalanced and all of that. And it just was like, okay, the doctor can't tell me what's going on. You just saying, oh, this is normal. This is not normal. It ain't been normal any other year of my life. This is not normal. So I just turned and found another way to basically, I don't want to say fix myself like I was broke, but
take care of yourself.
Yes, self-care.
Oh, thank you for that, Jasmine. I definitely, like I said, you know, as you get older, just all these new things. And because even again, our environment and our society is very different. You know, I found myself a few months ago, I was calling my mama and my auntie, like, wait a second, is this normal? Like, you know, no, like, I'm usually thinking I'm like 20 years old. I act like I'm 20, but you know, it's like, okay, you're not 20 anymore. But like, what's going on when you get to 30 and 40? And again, being able, it doesn't have to be anything wrong, but just being able to speak to your peace and the stresses of life, how to deal with things. And, you know, being able to utilize different things, like I said, that our ancestors used, things that are natural, to actually help, again, focus on self-care and taking care of ourselves mentally, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically. So definitely, I thank you for that question, Jasmine, because I think in particular, because we're dealing with COVID and some extra things that are going on in the world, it's that much more important. I say this all the time because I work with young people and I focus on my staff and just being able to spread a space of being gracious to each other because we're all dealing with it. I'm no good to my young people if I'm not taking care of me. if I'm all over the place and stressed, then I can't be beneficial to them. So I definitely feel like being able to take care of ourselves as well is important. So having specific health benefits and having, that journey that we're all learning about these different things that could benefit is really important. So again, thank you for your question. So we're got about 7 minutes left. I see what you got going on, Miss Patty, with the candles. I'm like, well, I need to come and get my clarity.
Add a little dye to the clarity candle.
I'm just happy she's making clarity. It smells so good. Do you have a finished candle? I see a few like in the back at the ground. Do you have some finished candles that you can show them?
So they're curing those, so it's gonna look like this until they actually dry, which takes them about a few hours.
Okay. I will say this, what I like about Miss Patty's candles that she has, so the crystals that we talked about, she puts crystals on them. What else do you put in that just be like, oh, this is a thing?
Oh yeah, so I put crystals and herbs to match the intention.
So it's not just the candle, it's the candle and then it's got some extra things on top. So it just makes you feel like it's Christmas. So yeah, anybody else have any questions? Feel free to put them in the chat. We got about 5 minutes. She's actually pouring some candles. Is that the jar?
Yes, that's clarity there.
That's clarity. Okay. So Miss Patty's been making 3 different candles for us. So she made clarity. We had the lavender, and then
Self-care Sunday.
Self-care Sunday, because we all need a little bit of self-care.
Yes.
And so I know. So this is one of my last questions. Okay. Wait, before I get to my question, T says, "Sounds amazing. Website to purchase." She wants to know where can she purchase all the stuff we've been talking about.
www.elevatedtouchbotanica.com. I'll add it onto the group page for this event too.
Okay, elevatedtouchbotanica.com. So she'll respond to that. One of the things that I did want to, because typically, people tend to think when we talk about self-care and creativity, people tend to think it's all women and things like that. I know we talked about the Yoni things, but men are just as important, if not more so, need some tender loving care and some definite things that speak to them taking care of them. I mean, unfortunately, we just saw the passing of our beloved, he played Black Panther and he played Jackie Robinson. And so, obviously men have healthcare issues as well, but can you also speak to different things that men can embrace and use in order to make sure that they're, setting their intentions and taking care of themselves as well?
Yeah, so basically all of it, but the Yoni thing, well, even that, but no, all that I spoke of that they can do, but sometimes self-care is what works for you. It doesn't even have to be anything big or major, or it can be you got some new beard oil and you want to condition and take care of your beard. It's
fellas, we loving the beards, even though you can't, like I said, it's not no shade, we are loving the beards.
Yes.
The oils and the massage of the beards.
So it's anything that anything that you find comforting for your self-care. I just recently started hula hooping for self-care. And it's something simple, like, I haven't hula hooped since a kid. I went on Amazon, bought me a weighted hula hoop, and I hula hoop all day, and that's my self-care. Put me on some music, burn me some incense, and go for broke with my hula hoop.
Do you sell Tiger's Eye?
Yes.
I do see a lot of guys that actually purchase Tiger's Eye either in a bracelet or
Yes.
just by, can you speak a little bit about what tiger's eye means and, why guys seem to like that so much?
Tiger's eye is good for a lot of different things. It's a protection crystal for one. So it's used to help not only protect you, but protect your psyche as well. So it's good. It's a good one to help balance your mental and keep you in a positive headspace. It's also good to basically ward off negativity. So it's kind of like used to negative energy bounces off of it. It doesn't let you absorb that negative energy. So yeah.
Exactly. I definitely, and actually, if you don't know, so I mentioned that I was making a chakra wrist, or bracelet, and the tiger's eye is at the end.
Yes.
So definitely, and I actually plan on making one just black and tiger's eye as well. So, definitely,
I love me some
yeah,
Tiger's
men,
Eye.
we are not forgetting about you. So I don't think this is all women's, women take self-care,
No,
you guys
no,
are just as
yes,
important,
me too. Yes.
making sure. Julie had mentioned she had experienced some healthy changes in her peace of mind using self-care candles and bath salts. So you mentioned the bath salts.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the fragrance, some of the fragrances for the bath salts or the different options?
Yes. So I have some for different intentions as well. Lavender is a really good one. I have a full moon one and a new moon one, which is made under full moon and new moon energy, but it's basically used as a protection, but a more of a protect your peace too. I have self love. One that's good is infused with rose quartz, which is another crystal that's really good for love
Love.
and yes, self love, love of others. It's just you gotta love a good rose quartz. I have a couple different ones. Relaxation one. I'm trying to think what else. I know I have protection. Yeah.
We're going to repeat the website so they could go on. One last question. Kirsten says, how can someone start a small botanica if they don't have one in their area?
Research, research, research. You have to basically find out the people near you what they're exactly looking for, what's specific to them, because the botanica can range from the different herbs to the crystals and all of that. So you want to at least do a little research on where you are and the people around you and what they're specifically looking for. You don't want to just get things that you're drawn to and then customers aren't buying it. I would suggest that if you are doing that, to start online before you just go and try to have a store or a shop, and then making sure that you're researching exactly what the different things are you're selling and making yourself as informed as you can be.
Thank you for that. Well, it is 7 o'clock. So I'm going to ask that if you could just give us all your information one more time for everybody who's been chiming in so that they can support Elevated Touch or learn more or go and get some of these things that we've been just talking about.
Yes, so you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. My name is Elevated Touch _ on both of those. And the website is www.elevatedtouchbotanica.com.
Thank you so much, Patty. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who has joined us for Creative Circle. Actually, in 2 weeks, we're going to have another one. I'll be announcing that soon. The guests, yeah. So I definitely want to keep bringing on different creatives so that you can take advantage of this space. You guys could actually, tap into your own creativity and wellness and health. Again, I'm Freddie Nyasha. Feel free, you can check me out on Instagram as well as Twitter and Facebook at Creations by FN or Creations by Freddie Nyasha. And I actually be launching my website very soon. I had to like get a base of different products that I really want to focus on. Everybody is like, oh, they're coming at me. I'm like,
Yeah.
so the waist beads and all the different things I'm selling now, some few t-shirts and things like that. But I want to just thank you guys, and I definitely want to keep spurring on people tapping into their creativity and their gifts. And so thank you, everybody. Have a great Sunday. Be blessed. Wear your mask, stay safe, and all that good stuff. And until next time, bye-bye.